relation to this job, did there come a time when you realised that there might be some difficulties?
Yes, when we discovered the fragile roof.
So can you take the jury through what your assessment was?
Well, I looked at the job, tried to identify what the hazards were.
Did you make any notes of your assessment?
I wrote the risk assessment down, yes. Yeah.
No, but your notes as to what you were seeing?
No.
Why did you think it was appropriate for you not to be there when the work was being done?
I had a more important, at the time, engagement.
And in terms of the risk assessment, which is on pages 53 and 54, did you go through that risk assessment with Mr. Woodford?
I passed it to him. I passed him a copy of it.
Did you go through it with him?
No.
You could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly
I do solemnly and sincerely and truly
declare and affirm
affirm
that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth,
the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
Are you 34?
Mr. Campbell.
I've been about a bit.
You have been 34 at some stage in your training.
Well, this year, yes.
Can you give your full name, please?
I'm Mark Bowers.
And you're 34 years of age, is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
About 6 months before the incident which we're discussing, were you asked to work for Wilden Builders?
Yes, indeed, I was.
When you were asked to work for them, were any inquiries made in relation to your qualifications?
Well, no, nobody really asked me about stuff.
Whilst you were working for them, did you go on any courses?
Not while I was working for them, no.
Did there come a time that you became aware that there was work at Arkwright's Electricals in Barnstaple?
Yes, yeah, a few weeks previously.
What were you told?
We were just taking down a temporary building.
Did you get paid by Wildens?
Well, no, not exactly. I invoice them for the hours that I work.
So would you say that you were employed by them or not?
No, technically I think I'm a contractor.
Who pays your stamp?
I do.
Your tax?
I do.
Are you sure about that?
Mr.
Well,
Campbell,
I just said so.
I think, as we know from recent cases involving Deliveroo and Uber, that the concept of employee is very flexible now.
Do you actually have a pay tax?
Yes, I do.
Legitimately?
Yes.
Now, when you came to the site, what were you told you had to do?
I was told that we had to take down the roof of the temporary building.
Did a site induction take place?
Yes, I received a site induction.
Can you describe that induction?
I'm sorry, I don't really remember very much about it at all. I remember having it though.
Well, do you remember how long it took?
No, that doesn't come to mind either.
Do you remember who did it?
I can't remember whether it was Chris or John. It was either Chris or John.
Were you given any protective equipment?
Yes, I have protective boots and a high vis. And I also wear on site, if I'm on the roof, a harness.
Was it your harness?
No, it belonged to Chris.
Do you know how old it was?
No, it looked all right.
Were you told that it had been regularly checked?
Well, I had a look at it and it looked all right.
You had any training about what an all-white harness would look like?
Not that I remember, no.
Did there come a time when people realised they needed more workers?
Yeah, it was getting a bit complicated on the roof. That we didn't have it. We needed an extra pair of hands. in terms of, you know, passing stuff backwards and forwards, we couldn't do it fast enough.
So what happened then?
Well, somebody, I think it was Chris that asked me. He said, "Do you know anybody who's, you know, not daft or wouldn't do anything stupid on site?" And I did know Derek. You know, had some construction site experience. Well, his brother was an electrician.
So it's in the family?
Yes, he's in the family trade.
So what was the discussion about getting Derek?
Well, they asked me if he was available, and I said he was.
And that's about it?
Yes.
So the next day, did Derek turn up for work?
Yes, he did.
Was he on time?
Well, he was supposed to be there for 9 o'clock because he was going to pick up his girlfriend, but he was a bit late, so he didn't get there till 9:30.
Did Chris tell you anything what to do with Derek?
Well, Chris saw him pull up and he waved me, you know, over to, you know, to look after Derek and get him onto site.
What did you understand by looking after Derek meaning?
Well, I thought Chris was going to have a word with him, so I went to meet him, and I realised that he didn't have any PPE, so I went to Chris's van and gave him a high-vis, and then I took him onto the roof to meet Chris.
And what happened then?
Well, I had a chat with him. I was explaining what we were doing, and you know, and Chris has said something to him. I don't know what, and that was it really.
What happened next?
Well, Chris passed me a sheet. And a bit of the guttering came loose, so Derek stood forward to help, and he went.
What do you mean he went?
Well, he went onto the bit of the roof that was fragile, and he fell through.
Thank you. If you'd like to wait there may be some questions.
Mr. Bowers. From reading your statement here, and I'll be quick, so you can just nod if you wish. It says here that you studied, a diploma in college, studied construction, including bricklaying and carpentry, and you have a CSCS sidecar training at college. Do you know what that means?
Yes.
Well, can you tell us what the jury what that means, please?
About what?
The CSCS.
Yeah, it's a construction skills certificate in site safety.
Okay, and that you say you've been working 6 years, some of which at height.
You on and off, bits and pieces, yes.
Okay. You're fully aware of Derek's background. He said you invited him into the work situation, so you knew him, he was your friend.
Well, yes, I knew he was looking for some work, and he was a good, sensible lad, yes.
That's good. You also knew about this job in particular. Was it correct that you helped build this structure in the first place?
Yes, I helped him putting it up.
And you've been involved in taking it down?
Indeed.
And you are completely aware of the fragile nature of parts of that site?
Well, we were told that there was a bit of a hitch and bits of the roof were a bit
but
fragile.
You were there taking the sheets off that created the fragile.
Well, yes, obviously.
That's right, isn't it?
Obviously, that's the case. Yes.
So you would have known exactly where the fragile area was.
Well, the fragile area was obvious because it was over the edge. Over the edge of the.
So it was obvious to you.
Yes, that's true.
When Derek came on site, did Chris tell you to take him onto the roof?
No, he sort of waved me, look
He
after him.
didn't tell you to take him onto the roof, but yet you allowed him onto the roof.
Well, he didn't tell me not to.
Okay. No more questions.
Did you want to have any questions?
Just one. Mr. Bowers, you told Mr. Campbell that Derek went onto the bit of the roof that was fragile and fell through. Can you just help us understand, could you see why he went onto that bit of the roof? Was there any option? Did he have to go onto that bit of the roof? Or
No, I think just the way that that when we were passing stuff over and the gutter became loose, Derek just tried to help, and he reached forward to help,
I see.
and went onto the fragile bit.
Yeah, but was the scaffolding separated from the roof, or was the scaffolding right up against the roof so you couldn't? You had to go.
Not really. There wasn't much of a barrier there.
There
No.
wasn't much of a. All right, that's all I wanted to ask.
Like to return to where you came. Last witness, the poor unfortunate victim, who you want to make well be distressed still.
Yes.
Because of all the injuries.
Does he need any special measures?
No.
Or assistance?
Just 2 sugars in his tea. Derek Wanley, please. As you can see, Your Honour, he looks awful. He used to have a full head of hair. But the stress.
And other lots of them.
Those are the days.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm.
I do solemnly, sincerely and
Truly
declare and confirm
that the evidence I give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
that the evidence I give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
Do you need a tissue?
Oh no, not at the moment, thank you.
Can you give your full name to the court?
Derek Wanley.
We're dealing with an incident which occurred on the 23rd of August 2017. What had you been doing before that day?
I just finished at college, doing art and design, and I was working part-time at Tesco in the meat handling department.
Every little helps.
Everything.
Did there come a time that you were asked to work on this Arkwright construction site?
Yes, my friend Mark contacted me, I'm not sure when, probably a couple of days before, and just said, need a hand labouring if you're up for it. So I said, yeah.
Had you worked on a construction site before?
No, nothing I can remember. Only a bit of DIY maybe at home, helping my brother out, electrician.
Did anyone ask you about your experience in construction?
No, nothing.
When you were told to turn up for work, were you told to wear anything in particular?
Yeah, I was just told to bring my safety boots, which I'd had through Tesco's, and that was it.
Was anything discussed in relation to your wages or other such matters?
Mark did say that Chris would pay me, but nothing was confirmed how or when during the time of my working with them.
So you were due to start work on the 23rd of August?
Yes.
Did there anything which affected the time which you started?
Yeah, unfortunately on that day, my girlfriend needed dropping.
Sorry, you've got a girlfriend?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
We're now nearly married as well, so.
Oh.
But yeah, no, my girlfriend at the time, she needed a lift to work, so I let Mark know that I was going to be, a bit late.
So what happened when you arrived on site?
Mark saw me pull up and came down to meet me at my car where I'd parked. I put my safety boots on. He said you need a high-vis jacket, so he went and grabbed me one from Chris's car, and then we went off to the scaffolding area.
Did you go up the scaffolding?
Yes, Mark went up first, and I followed neatly behind.
Did anyone discuss with you about what was going on the site?
No, I had no kind of knowledge of what was being done, what work it was, or where I should be going.
Were you given any documentation?
No,
to read?
nothing.
So what happened next?
As I went up to the top of the ladder, we went round to see where Chris was working. Chris saw I was there, turned around, just said hello, all right, and that was it. And he went back to doing his job. And we had to move a bit of I don't know what it was, a piece of guttering, a roof sheet, I'm not sure. So Mark asked me to give him a hand.
And then what happened?
I don't remember much after that, I'm afraid. I woke up apparently having fallen through the roof with the paramedics around me.
And is it correct you suffered a bleed on the front of the brain?
Yes.
3 fractures on the left-hand side of your face, an area which required stitching and glue.
Yes.
2 fractures on the left wrist. 2 fractures to your pelvis. A black eye, swollen face, and bruising all down the left-hand side of your body.
Yes.
Initially, you had problems walking. You were in a wheelchair.
For a bit, yeah.
And then you were on a Zimmer frame.
Yes. Which not quite embarrassing at my age to be on a Zimmer frame, I have to say.
Well, I'm sure you would have been expecting it pretty sooner rather than later.
It's been a hard paper round when I was younger.
And you've been having hydrotherapy once a week.
Yes.
And did you ever get paid?
No, nothing came through to me. I do remember my mum saying to me afterwards that Chris had offered to give her a lift to the hospital and back, which I thought was quite nice of him.
Anyone ever apologised to you?
No.
Anyone ever write to you about this?
No, I've not received anything, apart from when I heard from Mr. Tungate regarding the inspection and the investigation, sorry.
Are you pursuing a civil claim in relation to your injuries?
I am, yes.
And have they agreed to settle that?
Not at present, no. They have had all the information from me, though.
Thank you, that's all I ask.
Mr. Wanley,
Yes.
have you ever met Chris Woodford? Had you ever met Chris Woodford before the day of your...
No, I'd had no contact with either company beforehand.
Okay, so it'd be safe to say that all the information that Chris Woodford about you, your capabilities, qualifications and experience wouldn't come from Mark Bowers. Is that correct?
I would assume so.
Thank you. That's all. Your Honour.
Does you want to have any questions?
Just one. Mr. Wanley, after you met Mark and he gave you a high-vis jacket, yes? And then he went on the scaffolding first, you followed.
Yes.
When he went onto the scaffolding, did he have a harness or?
Not that he was wearing around, because obviously he was down the ladder with me.
Right. Did he mention anything to you about a harness?
No.
Before he went onto the scaffolding?
I had no safety kind of induction, anything like that.
And did you have any knowledge that a harness would be required or may be required?
No, never had been in that industry. I didn't have a clue, really.
They don't teach you that in your art and design course?
No.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that closes the case on behalf of the Crown, which is actually just good timing for everyone to have some lunch. Anybody got any questions so far?
Was there actually another harness available?
On the day in question? No. But as you can see in this case, no one has a record as to how many harnesses, there's no checks on the suitability of the harness, no one's been trained on anything. I don't know whether Richard's got something to say.
No, it's just one of those everyday situations in the construction industry, I'm afraid, where a jobbing builder, a mate of somebody gets called on. So they had the harnesses, I think from what I've read, they had the harnesses for Bowers and for Woodford. But this, as far as they're concerned, the other bloke wasn't going to put himself in any peril, so why have it?
Well, the funny thing is, it's only when they look back could they actually see it coming.
Yeah.
The time that they just couldn't see what was the almost inevitable consequence of allowing someone just to go untrained, unsupervised up a scaffold onto a roof, which they knew was dangerous. Sorry.
The two contractors that were on site already, did they sign in the contractor's book when they arrive on site?
In this scenario, there's no contractor's book.
There's no evidence, but...
No.
Hotspot questions in. Who was arranging the scaffold contractor?
I think for the purpose of this one, you'd probably say it was John.
Yeah,
So Arkwrights were.
Arkwrights would have done it, yes.
because I think if you look, I think you've got it, the documents with John
Yeah.
Crouchley, he's saying that there were some shenanigans about the front in the scaffolding going up and the worry about allowing the shop to remain open while the construction activities were going on.
We've left all that big detail out because otherwise we would just would never get through it.
Yeah.
I hope you understand. Yep, sorry, back.
Was a principal contractor formally appointed in writing?
In reality, no. No. But one of the problems you've really got when you have a lot of small businesses who, I'll give you an example. I've got some ground workers working away. If I raise with them anything to do with any sort of contract or anything, I'm trying to get an estimate and a proper invoice from them. They run a mile. They probably don't have detailed risk assessments. It's father, son and uncle. And if as a customer I raised anything like that, they wouldn't even dream of doing the work. And that's one of the problems that when you engage people outside of your control, and I know a lot of you work for large companies where this may not happen, but it's about controlling all the way down that chain of contractors. Even if it's just bringing in some agency staff or something like that, you need to have do your due diligence in order to protect yourself in the long run for something which, I know you can't micromanage things, but there's certain obvious steps which you can take to mitigate any risk. Because that's the risk we're in, is risk displacement. Yeah? So that they can blame someone else other than you. Whether it be that contractually you ensure that there's indemnities from subcontractors, or as a client you make sure that, notwithstanding criminal law, but on civil law and any compensation or any damages, you protect yourself as the principal to ensure that it's the subcontractor who takes the burden. And you can put that in contracts. A lot of public sector contracts are all done that way. That you don't get, what you find in business is that subcontractors who will like to displace the risk to the principal, but the principal needs to displace the risk to the subcontractor. And that's, when you're arranging contracts, that's something you've got to have in mind. And if you've got subcontractors who are not prepared to accept risks falling on them, you have to ask that question in the first place. Are they the right subcontractor?
If you think about it, the defence of Woodford is basically saying he's a poor subcontractor who turned up, not control of anything, the control is our price, they're the big people, they've got every opportunity to provide him with a safe place of work, they don't do it. And although they are a large organisation on that, they will, all large organisations have people like John Crouchley there, who's just been there, knows how to do it, probably not very good to question, so you've got quite a well-qualified junior, Miss Weston, or East, I can't remember what is that, come on site to question, but probably what says goes, because he knows how it's done and it's always been done that way. And he's the Achilles heel for that organisation. And no matter how good you are, and you are, as I say, large organisations here, well structured, but you're only as good as your worst contractor. So when that happens, when that worst contractor, even when you think you've got all the paperwork, CDM provides a really good roadmap for managing construction projects. That's what a lot of people have thought about it, they've tried to change it, but they keep going back to CDM and keeping the structure, because it provides a good roadmap of separating your responsibilities. And the only way as a large organisation or a small organisation that is to ensure you know what your responsibilities and you live up to them. Because then when it goes wrong, you can look around and say, we did our bit, it's over to them. So for me, when I was, when I'm looking at the HSE, I'm trying to say, you've got the wrong person, you've got the people who haven't got the control. The people who've got control are Arkwrights. And although John says, he's had his mate for 20 years and all the rest of it, as his defence lawyer, I say, forget your friend, mate. This is survival now. You're the one, we're going to have to put you as a victim. That not being looked after by this large organisation. So, these are the harsh realities of when you get involved into this world. When you saw what you had to do, did you think that there would be alternative ways of doing it?
Yeah, it's not hard to do it. We'd use a net underneath, but I was told that couldn't be done.
What would have happened if you said that you would like a net?
We had a chat about it. I've got to be careful. I need the money, I need the work, and I can't go to people like John and Arkwrights and say I'm not going to do that.